Man, you take good pictures, man?
Yeah.
Let me see your work, man.
What's going on, man? How you feeling today?
What up, bro? I'm feeling straight. How you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. So if y'all don't know, I know it's been a while since we've been on. I know it's been a while since y'all have heard my lovely voice and, seen me interviewing my interviews. But I'm here with another special guest. You tuned in to the CreativezOnly Podcast episode. I don't know, but I'm here with a very special person, one of the people that I rock with in the media space, especially with our generation, More Visuals. If you don't know who More Visuals is, I don't know why, because he pretty much done shot half of the videos you like, some of the ones you hate on, but either way it go, he didn't came out and made them look how they need to look, man. So how you doing today, bro?
My dog, I'm doing well, bro. I appreciate that introduction for sure. But I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. So with the platform, what we like to do is just kind of shed light on the creative things that's going on in the city. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't. Like I said, the mass world, that we live in, they don't even realize that a lot of people that's creating these projects, with the high-level rappers all the way down to the ones that's trying to get their name out, it's our crew of people. You know what I'm saying? With respect to, the older generation that's kind of just, trickling in from off of the hard work and stuff they had to do. But just kind of let me know, let the people know, how did you get started in doing media, and then, we'll kind of just go on from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I was in college when I stumbled across media, like I would say my sophomore year, like that summer, going into my sophomore year. So I was playing basketball in college at the time. I ended up getting into trouble at school, and so I had to move back to the city. At the time I was in Kalamazoo, but I moved back to the city, went to a community college. And that summer, like for our final project of one of my law classes, we had to make a video. And I just got a new computer. It had Final Cut Pro on it. So I was like, shoot, I'll make it. But I wasn't thinking nothing about it like too heavily. But I was like, I'll make it. And so we had shot, the school gave us these little cameras to shoot our final project on. And I shot it, edited the video. Everybody loved it. It was looking back on it, it was terrible. You know what I'm saying? But just that first project was special to me. So I just kept going from there. And then I started making YouTube videos of myself. I had a couple YouTube channels. I was trying to pursue the whole vlogging thing. Wasn't too consistent with that. Then I started making workout videos for myself, and then people started to ask me to make videos for them. And then eventually it just turned into a business. Like towards the end of college, I just made up in my mind I was just gonna make a business out of it. So hopped into the scene as far as like taking lifestyle photos and videos and stuff like that. And then I met one person, and then that led to another thing. And before I knew it, I was in the music space, you feel me? So it kind of really just evolved into its own thing over time.
So, just going back into it, with you having a little bit of trouble in college, I know another good friend of mine, Goldie Visions, he, not the same type of thing, but it's like, he had kind of met some troubles before he even went into college, I believe that's what it was. But, just kind of having that moment where you would be discouraged, as most people would be, not able to play the game that you obviously love doing because you're playing it in college, and then having to make the transition from that to, something that you're really not too familiar with. So let's just talk about like the mind aspect of it, with like not giving up and kind of just, getting sucked up into the usual Detroit story.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like my story was a little different in terms of how I grew up. Not many people really know my story, but I come from, a real traumatic childhood for real. So it's like growing up in Detroit, I don't know. I was real sensitive to people, situations, you know what I'm saying? And I just never wanted to be like the negativity that I grew up around. So I always knew that I wanted to do something different. So once I started playing basketball and then I went to college, then I fell in love with it for sure. My first goal was the NBA, you know what I'm saying? I swear I was going to the league for real, and you know what I mean? And I could have played semi-pro, but I just chose not to go that route due to like injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, like the situation with college, like I ended up getting laced actually. It was like my sophomore year. I ended up getting laced. No, my bad. All right, so I was going into my junior year when I picked up media, but my sophomore year is actually when the incident happened.
No, for sure. That's what helped you, transition into doing it. For sure.
Yeah, so after that situation, bro, I had to fight to get my whole mind back because technically I wasn't even supposed to make it out that situation, you know? So it's like I was heartbroken that I had to move back to the city, and like the thought of the city really depressed me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, I don't want to go back there, you know what I'm saying? Because I know it ain't nothing good for me there, you know? So I thought. And so it's like, it was hard, bro, because basketball, all I knew was basketball. And so not playing for the first time in years was really messing with my head for real. Like I had multiple schools looking at me for real. I was having a breakout season, and then to have all that snatched away from me, that was heartbreaking. But I still ended up pursuing basketball and ended up finishing college on a basketball team. But just in the process of doing that, I picked up media, and it was just an outlet for me. You know what I'm saying? It's a way for me to express myself, even until this day, for real. So it was hard, but I had the media to like really just keep me busy and to keep me, I would say, curious. So.
No, for sure. And I think that like that's the whole point of the podcast, and just me as a person, even with the people I deal with, like it's really just to kind of shed light and get people to understand that not everybody is a cameraman. We just people that know how to work these tools that we've been able to, be blessed with to understand. So it's like kind of just putting the human aspect back into the cameraman. That's kind of what this is for. So, I appreciate you for even sharing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Transitioning out of that, so you do a video for your law class, and then you end up kind of just getting sucked into the music. Kind of just talk about what was like your first breakout project that kind of got you just on the run that you've been on. For how long you been shooting?
I've been shooting for like 8 years, so I was shooting for some years before I got into the game, but
no, for sure.
I've been shooting for about 8 years and been in the game heavy for about 3.5, 4 years.
Okay, bet. So let's just talk about like that, that heavy motion with the music and all the other things. Yeah,
for sure. So I would say the project that did it for me was 6 Mile Show Behind the Scenes by Babyface Ray, CreativezOnly. At the time, nobody in the city was really pushing behind the scenes, and I was working with somebody, and we just figured out this is kind of a gateway for us to like get our foot in the door and show what we could do. So it's like we started really to attack those behind the scenes videos, and I kind of just developed my own style over time, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of dope to see like in today, like in the city, that's like a thing now, you know what I'm saying? Like people making sure that they list those behind the scenes credit. And so it's like that Icewear Vezo, Babyface Ray, 6 Mile Show, BTS, that was like the first breakout project for me. And then that's really just when everything just took off for real.
Okay, but so like I want to ask you this because I'm not, like, again, I'm in it, but I'm not, because I come from like sports and stuff. I just started doing the music entertainment stuff like last year. So like, who was the first person, like, I want to just ask this, like, who was the first person in your opinion? Because I think you might have been the only person that I've seen doing it just for what it was. And then like Suave do it. Me and my team, we done picked it up a little bit, but like really, like, do you feel like you created a lane, or you more so just kind of was able to jump on it because it wasn't, nobody really taking it serious?
Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't say that I created the lane of BTS, because behind the scenes was a thing way before I stepped onto the scene. But in terms of Detroit, I definitely believe that I played a big part in terms of making that behind the scenes a thing, you know what I'm saying, over time. And I feel like I just feel like that was like an open lane where I could just do my own thing, and just everybody still get their credit, and I'm able to capture those moments on set into like a couple minutes. And so I feel like I just did my thing in that lane.
No, because a lot of people, we see it kind of just whoever we interacting with, but like a lot of people we know, that's kind of how they jump into it a little bit. Like the newer people that haven't been doing it for the 8 years, for the 6, I'd say at least like 3 years plus. That's kind of like the new way people are able to kind of get in on the shoots with the big artists, because the opportunity of doing the BTS, whatever that may be, that's open. So kind of just, outside of that, going into your next project, what was that, kind of not necessarily BTS, but like you directing something, or you kind of being a DP or audio, whatever that might have been.
Yeah.
To speak on that too.
Yeah, for sure. So when I started out, I was doing the BTS, and then over time, as I spent more time on set, I just appreciated the craft itself. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like, you would love to direct or shoot a big music video, at least from my perspective. Like, that was my dream for real, like in terms of this whole music game. And so I had once of doing that, but I never really got the opportunity. I'm not the type of person to go and beg somebody for an opportunity. I'd rather me just grind for that opportunity on my own. And so I would say the first real big opportunity actually came from outside the city, from Wapalo. I don't know if you know Wapalo. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's like a real big director in the music space. He had reached out to me, communicating that he liked my work, and he was looking for a DP, and I was a baby DP at the time, but he was like, I like your work, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, I'm a DP. What you trying to, what are you looking to do? And that was Bodie James. He was directing three music videos for Bodie James.
You helped shoot that joint. Okay.
Yep. So. So we ended up going to Kalamazoo for 2 days, and we shot 3 music videos with Bodie James in those 2 days, and it was real fun. It was like a big learning experience for me. It was a way for me to really get my foot in the door. I feel like that was like my biggest opportunity after the whole BTS wave, and from there, like, that took on a life of its own. But we actually shot those videos years ago. We shot those music videos like 2 years ago, and they came out like 4 months ago. So people don't know that, but after I got that opportunity from Apollo, people around the city started hearing it. So then different directors would call me and ask me to DP for different stuff. But I would definitely say like Apollo was the first person to like really, take that chance and give me that big opportunity. So. Yeah, for sure.
So like what I want to kind of understand and know and be able to explain to everybody is like, you is the individual who got to shoot everything, right? You're not trying to go shoot everything, but it's certain pieces and it's certain things that projects that you've been a part of that made Apollo say, hey, I need you to come, tap in with me. So like, speak to that point of it, because quality over, the saying of, but in the media space, coming from somebody different besides myself, kind of just talk about that.
Yeah, so I definitely prioritize quality over quantity with my work. Like, that's something that I really been intentional with, like, since I started, you know what I mean? Because it's like, of course you could drop 200 videos a year, but it's like, from my perspective, my name going everything that I make, like, it's more visuals, you know what I'm saying? My last name is more, so I really took pride in like making sure that if I'm putting out something and putting my stamp on it, that it's gonna be, it's gonna be above like the baseline for real, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I never really thought that it would kind of transition into that, like, because at the time when Apollo reached out to me, I wasn't marketing music videos. I was strictly doing BTS, you know what I'm saying? And so that was an eye-opener for me, like, okay, maybe it's time to step up, from the BTS and like just start pressing, that DP role a lot more. And yeah, did that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, because what I want to get people to understand, like, a lot of, I don't know if you've ever gone through it, but like a lot of situations I've been in, or a lot of situations that I've put people in, they kind of take the role of just being in the background or not really kind of being a part of the whole set, right? So like most people, they do the running guns. They're not doing the studio, the setup. This the time, we out of here at 7 o'clock. We not finna be out here till 12. So like, could you speak on like the production aspect of it, just on the music video side for the stuff that you have done up until this point where we're talking today? Like just kind of being on set, having that experience, and then just kind of being, again, just kind of playing whatever role is needed for whatever that production asks for.
Yeah, so on top of the BTS stuff, it's like what people don't see on the camera is like, like you having to carry equipment, you know what I'm saying? You having to do X, Y, and Z. You might have to be a production assistant or whatever, but I would say like working, like the BTS Like it was a great entryway for me, but I was able to pick up so many different skills along the way. You know what I'm saying? I was able to grow my people skills. I was able to grow my technical skills on the camera. You know, I was able to pick up like little stuff and study how, you know, certain people position themselves, you know what I'm saying, on set and stuff like that. And so really when I came in the game, I was real quiet. Like even to this day, I really don't be saying much, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather really just take it all in, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I'm happy about that. But it's like if I'm not the smartest person in the room, then I definitely should be doing a lot more listening than talking for real. And so that was kind of a double-edged sword because I used to be real quiet on set, but then at the same time, I started to realize how being too quiet allows for other things. You know, people may think that they can step over you, or like you might miss an opportunity just because you're too afraid to speak up. You know, so I had to kind of get out of that mindset of like, all right, I'm here, I'm on set, I'm cool, but it's like I was just thinking that the work was strictly gonna speak for itself, and I had to really kind of put more of my personality out there. And so the more I started to do that, the more, you know, opportunities I started to get. But just being on set, being on those professional environments, that just allowed me the opportunity to really just learn as much as possible. And, you know, it's just all collectively helped me over time.
No, for sure. So like, if you can pinpoint, you know, one of the many projects that you've been on, what was the favorite? What was the project? You know, what made it fun? And then just kind of like talk about if you learned something from it.
Yeah, for sure. Dang, that's something I got to think on.
No, that's the whole point of my job, is to make you think and give me the answer. You know what I'm saying? So I be up doing my job.
Right. Dang. Honestly, all right, cool. I got one. I would say I was BTS on this video, but it was a Dej Loaf 100 million music video.
Okay.
That was for sure my favorite music video, just off the strength that Dej was one of my favorite artists, like coming up. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that was a big pivotal moment in life for me. Her music got me through a lot of stuff when I was like down in the dumps, depressed, you feel me? It's like her music really picked me up for real. So once I got on that set and worked with, you know, Diego on that, then bro, that moment really changed my life for real. It just made me want to go 10 times harder for real. And it was a long day. It was a super long day, but that was just such a pivotal moment in my career. Like, I just remember grinding just a couple years back, hoping somebody would notice my work, and you know, just to be at that point, that was just special to me for real. So.
For sure. So like, I was having a conversation with one of my people when we was talking, and he was letting me know that he ended up running into somebody that sounded like they was fairly new to it. But, you know, being around all the celebrities, being around, you know, again, a lot of different people that a lot of people can't really get in touch with unless they either watching them at a concert or they looking at them on their phone, to kind of be in the same room with a lot of these people. And again, even for myself, you know, everybody that I done worked with, every project that I done been on, I've been listening to these people for like 10 years plus, you know what I'm saying? So like, kind of speak on not necessarily being fanned out, but at the same time, you're not about to be too cool to be there. Like, you know, that's fake. Ain't nobody really tripping on face. Like, you know, this face, like whoever your person is, like speak to that, kind of just being in that aspect of it as well.
Yeah, so I ain't gonna lie, at first it was really surreal, you know what I mean? Because it's like growing up, and especially before social media, you hear these people's music, but that's before, you know, you seen them all the time on social media, you know, like these people is like larger than life figures, you know what I'm saying, as you coming up. And so I'm like, you know, once I got on that Dej Loaf set, I'm like, bro, this is really Dej Loaf, bro. Like, I was dang near tripping for real, but I had to keep it cool. But I don't know, bro, like over time, I definitely got used to it, and I realized that, you know, at the end of the day, they human just like us, bro. And you know, they just decided to be intentional about their craft, and you know, decided to do it at a high level. But yeah, I mean, it's like, it's weird, bro, because it's like you might want to work with an artist one day, but especially coming from Detroit, you don't want to have that mindset like, you know, I ain't gonna say the word, but
No,
I ain't about to de-suck, you feel me?
No, for sure.
At the same time, I ain't trying to hold myself back from opportunities, but it's really just a matter of being consistent, networking, and making sure that your face is constantly in the rooms, if possible, you feel me? And just doing great work for real, because it's like, once you play it like that, then the opportunities go come. Like, you never really know who watching, but I definitely would say, like, at first I was definitely like a little surprised at the artists that I was being surrounded by, but just over time, it's like, you just learn that they regular people just like us, and it's just a blessing just to be, operating at a high level around certain people that's also operating at a high level.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, the whole reason for any of this is to kind of get a lot of those different, even though a lot of people are kind of getting out of it, it's still the too cool. You know what I'm saying? That's what I call it. Too cool dude. He there, but he just ain't trying to kick it. He ain't trying to do nothing. And again, these people that we around and these people that we able to kind of, work with in the same token, you know what I'm saying? They just doing their job at a high level. And again, to, kind of witness, humility from these people in certain aspects, depending upon, where you at and what the timing is, you always able to kind of benefit from it regardless of. So, I'm trying to think. It was one more thing before we got into it about why we really here, which is the whole point of the podcast within itself. My baby just had to be the sacrificial lamb for the people to understand. But no, real quick before we get into it, knowing your worth, and then we're gonna be able to go into it. So like knowing your worth as a videographer, knowing your work as a director, whatever that position is in media, how do you determine what your worth is, and how do you make sure that the people that's around you first respect it, and then actually, monetarily or, whatever that may be? How do you determine that for yourself before you going into any environment?
Yeah, so that's actually a great question. I'm not gonna lie. I appreciate you asking that. But how I do it is, honestly, bro, I do a lot of shadow work on myself. You feel me? So it's like, I don't lie to myself. I keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? If I'm on BS, and I'm gonna tell myself I'm on BS, but it really just come down to holding yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really put the most pressure on myself for real. Knowing that I don't know everything, but knowing that I want to get to somewhere special. It's like I just always make sure that I just kind of keep that extra pressure on myself for real, and understand that that life is finite. That what we get to do is a blessing, and it's completely subjective. And it's like continuing to learn, you know what I'm saying? Continuing to apply yourself, like, every day. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on a lot of platforms just trying to grow my skill set in various areas. And so it's really just staying curious for real. And in terms of knowing my value, is just like, I believe in God, bro. So it's like, whoever God say I am, you feel me? That's who I am for real. You know what I'm saying? I just really take that to heart. So it's like really surrounding myself with people who genuinely want the best for me. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of people who are opportunists. You know what I mean? But I feel like one of the hardest things at first was trying to gauge like who really rock with me for me, and who really rock with me just to see what they can get out of me. You feel me? And it's like, over time, you learn that life is like a revolving door. People come and go. Not everybody go like you for real. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, if I know that I'm standing 10 toes behind everything I'm doing, that's all I can do. And it's like, I really just want people around me that's just genuine. And it's like, people come and go, but the ones who really value you, like, they'll let you know. You know what I mean? Like, they speak life into you. They do, they check up on you, stuff like that. Not a lot of people do that, especially when you operating, on a certain plane. Everybody kind of think that, oh, you good, you feel me? But it's like, no, it's really opposite.
For sure.
It's really opposite. It's like, it's really a lot less people supporting and reaching out and making sure, you good than people think. So it's like, just making sure that you got genuine people around you that you don't really have to question for real. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
So. Yeah.
No, because like I totally get it. Because then like somebody hit you with you just shot a video for Viz. What you mean you can't do?
Right.
What you mean? But you don't even know what that business is. He probably could have gave me a 20 boy to do the bid.
Man,
you thinking I
bro,
just did it for free just because
I could tell you some stuff, bro.
But no, we gonna have a part 2, part 525. We might get you going on that.
Right.
But like I said, before that last question, we here to kind of talk about what happened with the what's it called, the Return of the Mac.
Yeah, Return of the Mac.
Some. No disrespect, I really just couldn't. I just couldn't even remember the name because it was so long.
Yeah.
But I saw an Instagram post. You can kind of speak more to who he is, but I saw the Instagram post. I was like, CJ, man. I was so shocked because I'm like, damn, they trying to hold bro, and I ain't never heard nothing like that. Like again, it's a lot of stuff that happens that we don't necessarily talk about, like how the comedians they got their own little group chat. You know what I'm saying? We all got our own little group chat respected too, because there's just so many of us in this small city.
Right.
But just kind of talk about, first off, being on that project, and then we could just kind of go from there. What your role was, what was the experience that you gained from it, and then, we kind of just gonna dive into it that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so Return of the Mac is a movie that supposedly sheds light on sex trafficking, and I'm not too involved in the story of it. I am a cinematographer on it. Ro Dazan, he's a mentor of mine in the film industry. He's like a very well-respected figure in the Detroit community. He's a DP on that project, so he's at the director's monitor, you know what I'm saying, telling me the shots that he wants. I'm on the camera, executing the movements, you know what I'm saying? So Return of the Mac, that was my second feature film as a professional, and I was real excited about it, bro. It had Clifton Powell in it. Anybody know Clifton Powell for Friday? DeAndre Bonds from Snowfall. Had Dougie Fresh. It had a lot of the top actors in the city, and it was a real big movie, and I was really excited to be a part of that project. When it came to shooting it, I believe we shot about 11 or 12 days straight, and this was about 7 months ago. Yeah, so it was tough, bro. It was tough days, but we got it finished. But in terms of what happened, yeah, so we ended up shooting the movie, and basically the producers ran off with our money. We didn't get paid the rest of our money. Now Ro actually dug into his personal bank account, given that I'm under his company on this project. He actually dug into his personal bank account and paid us the money that was owed to us, from the producers. And that was a very unfortunate situation, and it's like people heard about it around the city, but they kind of swept it under the rug. But that's hurtful to anybody, for you to work so hard and put your blood, sweat, and tears into a project, and then people basically rob you for real. And so so months go by. They have a premiere at the Fillmore on, I forgot what date it was, but it was a big premiere, hosted by a lot of big people, performances by Dej Love, Trick, Tone, I think KDZ, it was a lot of people that was performing at the premiere. Yeah, it was one of them ones for sure. They laid out everything for it, but the crew, the ones who shot it, wasn't invited to the premiere. No biggie, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't tripping on it, Ro wasn't tripping on it. We figured we would just go see it in the theaters and when it, drops online. But I asked somebody, and Ro asked somebody if they could take a video of the credits after, the premiere. And the person who I asked, he ends up sending me a video and a photo of the credits. No context.
Not at all.
And I'm just like, I was on the phone with Ro at the time, actually. I sent a picture to Ro, and everybody hop on the three-way like, dog, this crazy for real, like what? And it kind of really didn't hit us until like the next day, because it was late at night for real. But
no, for sure. You gotta wake up on that. Like,
yeah, so the next morning, Ro ends up going live on Facebook, and it's like everybody's on that live, and you know, he basically kind of tells the story on his page, you know, of what really went down. But basically, the producers just trashed a lot of people's names in the credits. They didn't give me any credit, you know, and yeah, it was just. I still kind of am at a loss for words, like, because it's just such a weird situation, and it's like, especially for coming from the city, like you really don't expect people to kind of stand behind stuff like this, you know, because it's just not right. But yeah, to see the way that they trash a lot of people's names, you know, the makeup artist Candace Fowler, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. She was the makeup artist, and they basically trashed her name in the credits, and so it was a real unfortunate situation. And yeah, it kind of like did its own thing on social media. The story got some traction, but you know, Detroit, it's like, and in general, people just see something and they just keep it moving. But I really want to make a point that we can't just sweep stuff like this under the rug, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, this stuff happens to people on every level of the whole media game, you know what I mean? It's like gatekeeping, blackballing, whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? That's something I personally don't stand for, you know what I mean? I definitely take pride in making sure, you know, I include and credit everybody, you know, that was a part of something, but that's just not the mentality here, clearly, you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like a lot of stuff like this gets swept under the rug, and it's just important that people are aware of what's going on for real. But that's what happened with that situation.
You know, it's a learning lesson for everybody. That's how I look at it. If it get taken past that, then it's a, you know, whatever that may be. But, you know, this is a learning experience for everybody, because again, when you talk about the Hollywoods or you talk about whatever, a lot of those people, depending upon how your business is set up, a lot of those people, they get, you know, residual checks off of whatever that is. I don't know the specifics of, but I do know whatever your position is, however you negotiate your contract, however your production company negotiate their contract, anytime a piece of, it's like a music, you know, it's like music. Anytime somebody stream it is however much the percentage is that you get off that. So that's why it's important that we had this conversation, because again, a lot of people that are coming up under a lot of media stuff, and again, it's only gonna get bigger because it's only gonna, you know, it's gonna mutate into something different, you know what I'm saying? So the people that watch it, the people that listen, the people that's kind of tuned in to the, you know, the street work that get done, it's like you gotta know what's going on, because again, if you're not able to go into a situation with no negotiation power, you just kind of gonna be left to, you know, the hands of whatever. And again, the situation, luckily, it's not like it's a, you know, $1 million, you know, not like we having one of them conversations where it's like, hey man, I need to get that 100 that we supposed to get, you know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not in the rooms, not, you know, not speaking on nobody's business, but I'm speaking on the actions of, you know what I'm saying, you got to move properly, especially, you know, in our city. You know, we coming out of that beefing with each other, and we coming into that movement and unity, especially with like the younger generation of what we do, you know what I'm saying, media wise, whatever you do, because everybody want to be a content creator, everybody want to live a lifestyle, but don't nobody really understand the business of the lifestyle that they trying to live. You know what I'm saying? Like rappers will tell you, I'm not getting no real money off rap, but I'm invested into a business, or I got a food truck or something like that I'm making my money off of, and I'm just using for it. Kind of just, you know, wrapping that up, you know, just talk about the mental aspect of it, because I can see, as we've been talking, like a lot of stuff is not hitting like I don't want to say it's hitting like somebody that died, but you can tell that it makes you kind of either second guess yourself, or it makes you kind of go into a state where you just don't even want to do it no more. So just kind of talk about being in your position as the cameraman, the DP, whatever that is at the time. You know, the work you get put, you know, the work that you put in, and then to see that, you know, you're not even able to be credited for, you know, with the, you know, the work that you put in. Kind of speak to that.
Yeah, so it definitely takes a toll over time, you know what I mean? Like, you definitely have to really love this to really stay in it after seeing a lot of stuff, especially in the city, bro. Like, this isn't the first situation where I haven't been properly credited, or, you know, whatever, but it's like over time, it definitely can be discouraging. But if this is what you really love to do, now I feel like you really go find a way, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna say that like I'm perfect, bro, because shoot, one moment I could be cool, and the next moment, you know, I could be going through a dark time, you know what I mean? Like,
we are him.
Questioning myself, like imposter syndrome, all that, you feel me? And it's like, it's really important to do stuff outside of media. You know what I mean? It's important to try new foods, explore new places. You know, talk to different cultures, different kind of people. Like, but just anything that gets you away from the craft itself, because it's like if you just constantly, if that's like life, then it really can mess up your whole mindset. But it's all about balance at the end of the day, for real. But I feel like the city just got to do better, bro, in terms of that. It's like, I get it, you know what I mean? It's like people build themselves up to a certain point, and it's like you kind of don't want somebody to take that from you, but it's kind of inevitable, you know what I mean? Because we're constantly evolving, technology is constantly evolving, and it's like a lot of people miss the bigger picture, not only in Detroit, but just in general. Like, this isn't about us. What we do is much bigger than us, you know what I'm saying? It's about the ones who come after us, you know? It sounds cliche, but that's the world. Like, that's our future right there. So it's like, God gave us these gifts so that we can pour it back into other people, you know what I'm saying? Help them cultivate their gifts for real. So it's like, going through a lot of the, you know, the blackballing and, you know, not being credited right or whatever, it's just like, that motivated me to, you know, help the next person. That's it. You know, like to help the next person that's coming in the game for real, because I know how that feel, bro. And it's like, you never know what somebody going through. You don't know they living situation or nothing. Like, shoot, I might even tell you something real. Like, just a couple years ago, bro, I was really homeless for real. Well, you know, like shooting for big people. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's hard, bro. On top of, you know, not being, you know, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but it's like, I'm happy I got through it, and it's like, I'm happy that I can then pour back into somebody else. But in terms of also the business side of it, I feel like it's important for people to learn just standard business for real, you know, because it's like, that's really everything. If you don't know, like, how you gonna move business wise, and that's gonna let other people know that they can take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to get familiarized with the right questions to ask when you're going into like a partnership with somebody, whether it's a project, whether it's a, you know, whatever. It's just like, you know, just learn about what a contract is for real. You know, learn about what an agreement is. Make sure, you know, you got a registered LLC, you know, so just in case you get sued, you know, that don't fall on your name. And it's like, you know, just understanding the basics for real. But the more you know, the better off you gonna be in terms of the business for real.
No, for sure. Because what we do, you know, it's a lot of money in it. But I think the way we can really end it off is like the AI stuff. I feel like not too many people, they really like paying attention to it. They feel like they can beat it. Mm-hmm. But like I was on the phone with one of my people, and he was telling me that the T Grizzly video, My God, I think that's what it was. Yeah, it's a couple different AI footage within the project, not the whole duration like everybody doing now, where they just using the one picture or they using the video to like make the video instead of just using it as a tool, instead of using it as their main source. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how familiar you are with it, but like speak to the AI. Does it kill your creativity or does it just enhance it?
No, I definitely don't think it kills creativity, because I mean, there's some stuff that you just can't do in the edit. You know what I'm saying? That AI might be able to do. Like, I haven't used AI in none of my videos, but I definitely see a lot of people using it, and it look dope. You feel me? It's like, shoot, as long as you're not like completely, you know, taking a whole idea from AI, it's like, then, you know, that's respectable for real. But I feel like it really just, I mean, like I said, technology is constantly evolving, and it's like, we gotta adapt, or, you know, because AI has already replaced like thousands of jobs, you feel me? So it's just like, I would say millions, billions, shoot, I don't even know.
No, for sure, and I speak to that for that specific reason, because again, like I said, just kind of in closing, the whole situation of, regardless of what it was, mm-hmm. You know, we got a lot of different tools that are being created that are meant to replace or to enhance. So it's like, if you got a situation where, you know, you're working on the set with somebody and they feel like, hey, you know, your contract say we ain't gotta have you here, we about to replace we ain't even gotta shoot these scenes, we just gonna type it in AI. Like, that's mm-hmm. a real thing that can happen. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if it's happened yet, I hope it hasn't, but if it has, DM me, let me know, we can talk about it. But like, that's why I feel like it's important that we really just, kind of have these conversations. And again, not to be on the clickbait, but to be on the awareness of. Because again, this happens, like you said, it happens on all levels. So for it to happen on the, semi-high, mid, low level, whatever you may call it, is like, it's still kind of like a shocker. Because like, when we coming from the bottom with it, we trying to really put it all together and we gonna do our best. But to kind of be essentially fighting over scraps, you know what I'm saying? Not to be disrespectful to nobody, but like realistically, to be fighting over, scraps to put something out that people want to see is like, we gotta do better. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like if anything, it's just important to adapt. You know what I mean? At least learn the knowledge, the basics of it. Just in case, like a client, needs something, like you have that. You can play that to your advantage because that's a skill set that you have, you know what I'm saying? So just learn to adapt. It's like, even if AI does replace a lot of camera people or, whatever, it's like, you still need people to prompt, you know what I'm saying? Those systems and stuff like that. So it's just, I feel like, given that it's so early, it's like the sky's the limit in terms of how people can utilize it to their advantage moving forward with their careers, So, yeah.
Well, we done had a very good conversation with one of my people, man, CJ more visuals. Make sure you go follow him on everything. Make sure y'all go follow the YouTube page, Twitch, whatever he got. Make sure you follow it, flood him, send it to your grandma and tell her he'll shoot the repass. And then, yeah, bro, I appreciate you for your time, you know what I'm saying? And then one more thing before we really go. Talk about the studio that we sitting in. I know we sitting in one of the staged areas, but kind of talk about that venture, being, been doing it for 8 years and really transitioning into trying to turn the space into a production house. Kind of speak to that.
Yeah, for sure. So we currently sitting in my first studio,
We'll call it more. But damn, I figured out more studios.
MVMG.
Like yeah, there we go.
MVMG Studios. That's what it's gonna be called. But yeah, like, you want me to talk to like just what?
Yeah,
like,
just kind of like what made you even do it? Cause you got to think, bro. A lot of people. Again, how old are you? 27. So again, it take people a while in certain cases, especially again with what we do. It take people a while to kind of get around to the fact that like, oh yeah, I want to open up a studio, or I want to be the person that send out instead of being the person that go shoot. Like it take a certain level and place mentally that you go to that most people don't find today, like in their 30s or something like that. Like, kind of be in your late 20s going into your early 30s. What made you want to say, I want to kind of build my own space where I can, free range to create, and then what we were talking about offline, just being able to get like some different opportunities as well.
Yeah, for sure. So really what made me want to open this up is just the creative community in general. Like, I'm very passionate about the creative community, and like just us being together and just having access to a lot of stuff. Like, over the years on music videos, commercials, films, it's like I've seen like how we've had a lot of problems booking certain locations, and I feel like a lot of people have shot, in the same places, and I just felt like where I was in my career, it was just time for me to take that next step and like do something that's a lot more permanent, you know what I mean? And so it's just like I wanted to create a space where people can come and create, host events. We shot a lot of dope stuff in this boxing gym. We shot an Adidas and Snipes commercial 2 years ago. But yeah, about 2.5 years ago, Diego, he shot a lot of music videos in here. Lil Reese, Baby Money, Skilla Baby, you feel me? We done shot Stan Will. A lot of people have already shot in this space before it's been revitalized. And so I'm like, man, if I bring this space to life, then that's like an open door. You know what I mean? It's like if people like it while it's kind of beat down, I can only imagine how people will like it if I just fix it up. So I just made up my mind I was just gonna do the work, clean this whole place out. It took us months, you feel me? But and really the youth, bro. Like, I want to eventually have like workshops for the youth, and you know, there's a school across the street, and there's a lot of kids around here that really just need something to do for real. And so I want to really have a place for them to go where they can learn about media. You know, they can learn about how to get into what we do. You know what I mean? They can have people who they look up to. You know what I'm saying? In the space that they can learn from and get like hands-on application. You know what I mean? And so it's like, and it ain't no telling where they could take that. So it's like really the youth for real, and just having a place for the creative community to like have to just work out of, you know?
No, for sure. Cause again, being around, like I said, I've been doing sports and stuff for like 6 years, but just doing like the music stuff, I've seen a lot of different people. They got their studios, but it don't never last because it's like the little studio, whatever it might be. But this is like a whole, y'all eventually gonna see it when we come back and do what we do. But it's like, this is y'all got a green screen back there. Again, it's, you can fit a bar mitzvah in this joint. So, other than that, is there anybody you want to shout out, anything coming up? And, then we're going to get out of here.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out my mom, for sure. She's like my rock, for real. Shout out my big brother, Banks. Shout out my big sister, Kendra, my little brother, Alex, my nephew, KJ. And, yeah, shout out to whoever watching this, for real. Honestly, that's
shout
it.
Out to you, shout out to Will.
Shout out to you.
Appreciate you, Ski. Appreciate you. Man, so it's been another episode of Creatives Only. I'm not going to tell y'all when we're going to do another one. Y'all just got to tune in. Make sure y'all look us up on everything. We on all platforms that you can hear, see. If you deaf, you can watch it. If you blind, you can hear it. We got you. So other than that, appreciate you for, letting me in your space, Brody.
For sure, bro.
Another episode of Creatives Only, man. Stay creative.
Let's get it.
Man, you take good pictures, man?
Yeah.
Let me see your work, man.